Yo guys, welcome to the Gran Turismo 7 update 1.34 live stream. So, I haven't live streamed in a while, and yeah, I've had a lot going on, and yeah, just before we get into the live stream, for those of you that know, my little girl Vari, my wee dog, she passed away on Saturday morning there. So but yeah, so it's obviously tough, losing my companion, of 11 and a half years. So, but she's in a much better place now. All animals go to heaven. So and I'll see her, I'll see her again. But anyway, this is the ultimate update, because they're adding ultimate parts, ultimate turbos, ultimate various ultimate car tuning parts, and obviously engine swaps are here now. And we've got 3 new cars you can see on the screen. The one on the left is a 1970s Ford Maverick. The one in the middle, the grey one, is the Nismo GTR, and the red one is a 1960s Alfa Romeo Giulia. So incredible cars as well. I haven't done a live stream in a while. I'm just going to check that we've got audio. I'll be back, guys. Hold on. Yeah, we've got audio. So yeah, so this car here, this Ford Maverick, we never got this Maverick in Europe. It was only in the Americas that they got this car, North and South America. And the Maverick we got was a horrible SUV. I think it was, it shared the platform with, I can't remember specifically now, but other stupid SUVs as well. The closest we got to this car was a Ford Capri, but obviously the Capri wasn't as cool as this thing. And so it's great to see cars that we never got in Europe, that were just confined to the Americas. Alfa Romeo Giulia, just incredible car. And of course Godzilla in the middle here, this grey one. The reason it's called Godzilla is because, the movie Godzilla, wherever he goes, he destroys everything, but he destroys everything for good. He's normally taking out some evil monster or something, but he destroys he destroys everything in his path, including the bad guy, the villain, the evil monster or whatever. And so when this car entered into motorsport racing, it got the nickname Godzilla because it just destroyed everything on the racetrack, and ultimately it was banned, just like the Mazda rotary engine was banned, from Le Mans, because it has an unfair advantage. So, as a rule of thumb, this motorsport's just like the rest of the corporate world. It's completely corrupt. So if something comes along that blows the competition out of the water, they just, rather than raise their game, the big boys just get together and permanently ban these things. Rather than the bar being raised, they keep the bar low so they can control everything. So this car here, Godzilla in the middle, the Nismo GTR, was ultimately banned from competition because it destroyed everything in its path. And of course Japan's other icon of motorsports, the rotary engine, that was also banned. But without further ado, we'll actually get into the update. So update 1.34, I won't read it all out for you. So we've got 3 new cars, we've already covered that. New liveries, we've got new races to do at the various tracks, so you can see them here on screen. New photo stuff, new cafe missions to do, new photography to do. What's brand central? This is this is picturesque stuff. In the museum entries in the car manufacturers and brand central. Used cars, that's been updated to the ultimate parts. GTO engine swaps have been added. Tuning shop, ultimate parts, sport, okay, various multiplayer stuff. Fixed other issues, so that's the bump out of the way. So let's see these cars. Okay, we've got Godzilla in here, incredible car. So this is a must-have. This one, again, an icon of motorsport before it was banned. Where's the Nismo and the Ford Maverick? They must be in the used car dealerships, hopefully. AC Cobra. Oh no, that's not an AC Cobra, that's the Shelby Daytona Cobra. Yeah, so the number one complaint I get in my YouTube channel is the mic quality. Oh yeah, nice one, we've got them here. So what I've done is I've turned the engine volume all the way down pretty much, so I can barely hear it, you know, so because when I'm racing the cars you can't hear my voice over the cars, so that's and then even when I'm not racing, still people complain about the poor mic quality. So I've got the standard PS4 earbuds, so there's nothing I can do about that, guys. So I've tried my best to fix it. 400 grand we've got to buy the wait, where's the the Ford Maverick will have its own, it'll be in the Ford dealership, or it'll be in its own dealership. We'll find that. What else we got here? We've got a Viper, Honda NSX. I think I've got like 6 of these in the game. Sierra Cosworth, I'm going to have to buy that car in white. I've only got it in black. Integrale, we'll buy one of those. Again, it's so hard to make money in this game, but we'll do that as well in this live stream. In fact, yo Shirality, how you doing, man? Yo Cobra. Yeah, I don't know if you heard, Shirality, but wee Vary passed away on Saturday. You know, my wee girl died, so learn more. The Nismo is the also elusive Skyline GTR R32, a car of near mythic status. It is the evolution of a production car designed to win Group A touring car races. Just 500 units were sold for its limited release in 1990. But how did it differ from the standard model? Well, it featured a front bumper air duct to improve engine cooling, and a metal turbine to overcome high boost pressure. Yeah, thanks for that, Shirality. I'm reading the live chats. Shirality loved my wee girl as well, so yeah, I better stop talking about it, I'll get upset. Yeah, so, and a metal turbine to overcome high boost pressure. The addition of aerodynamic parts and the cutting of frills ensured it was faster and more lightweight. No doubt about it, this special edition was designed to win races. Built by Nismo, Nissan's very own racing division, this double-barreled beauty is a true fan favourite. Oh, there's a lot of stuff they're missing out there, but hold on a second. Right, so just buy it now. I think I'll have to sell some cars. You know, to get some money. Do you want to use this car now? Yes. Yeah, Shirality, you'll have to give Harvey a big cuddle from us. you know, you've got a lovely dog as well. Okay, we've got Greening Auto Company. So these are the ones that these were the ones that modified the old 70s Ford Maverick. What a stunning car. 300 grand. Yeah, Shirality, you're right. They're pretty well priced. Shiralty's put down in the live chat there, that the cars are reasonably priced. I concur with that. But yeah, we'll buy this one as well, but I've only got 200 grand. We'll have to do some good old money grinding. Wait, hold on, what's the bump about this? This 1971 Ford Maverick was built by Greening Auto Company, GAC, a US custom car builder. The Cobra's put down did a bass tune on it, but only on controllers. The GAC Maverick rotational is only 1.36 Gs. Oval car. Alright. It made history when it took the GT award at the 2018 SEMA show, the world's top tier annual event for custom cars. The original Ford Maverick was an affordable and practical compact coupe, or coupe, however you want to say that. Here the chassis has been rebuilt with genuine racing architecture, into which has been set up a tuned up 7-litre Windsor V8, widely considered to be a Ford masterpiece. Believe me when I say it can output up to 1200 horsepower. In 2019, the GAC Maverick recorded a top speed of 202.6 miles per hour. Yeah, we'll definitely buy that one. It's funny how car enthusiasts, like we never got this car outside of the Americas and Europe here. So like we all love this car for that reason. This car was basically it's so rare over here, so it makes it exclusive. And it's the same like in the Americas. They never got, like with the Ford Escort RS Cosworth, for example, they never got any of the Godzilla Nissans, the Nissans, so like people in America like love the fact that they can take out the Nissan R32 GTR Nismo, and racks it about these racetracks. And we're the same with their cars, this incredible 1970s Ford Maverick, So like no matter where you are in the world, the cars that you could never own unless you imported them at 10 times the cost value. These video games, you can drive them through these video games. So yeah, once I've got the money, I look forward to raxing this about the racetrack. Beautiful car. So let's see these ultimate parts. Tuning. Oh, that's another thing. You have to be level 50 to get access to the ultimate level. So you have to up here. That's a pretty high collector level you've got there, Senna. I can't stand these guys. They're so annoying. I think it's about time I start selling you ultimate parts. Yeah, that's an understatement. We should have had these from day one. Ultimate parts include rare parts like titanium connecting rods and pistons, and new tuning options like bore up, sports, weight reduction, stage 5 and ultra high RPM turbocharger. If you have a car suited to modifications, I recommend testing these out for the ultimate tuning experience. Yeah, well, I can't actually say what I was going to say there. Right, so ultimate. Oh, nice. So what have we got here? We've got the ultra high RPM turbocharger. We've got the carbon propeller carbon propeller prop shaft. It was basically carbon prop shaft, titanium connecting rod. So this is stuff that you previously couldn't buy. You had to get it in a roulette, a completely broken roulette ticket system, which nobody. It was very rare people got these parts. Yeah, we're not going to have the money to fully upgrade this, but we'll see what we can do. Oh, we're already out of money, really. Racing. Yeah, we can't afford that, so we'll have to do some money grinding, guys. But I'll get unlike other YouTubers that string you along till the very end. Excuse me. I'll get all of the necessary information out of the way quickly, and then if you want to stay and watch, you can. So what's the next thing we'll go on to? I'm going to have to sell some cars quickly to get some money to race that thing. Already at 600 break though, just with the ultimate parts. Right, GT Auto. Right, so these are the engine swaps. I'm not going to read out this stuff the guy's saying. Right, so you can't get an engine swap for this car, but if you could, this is where you would buy it. Wide body, and just general car maintenance there. And we'll see what body kits we can put on the car. Yeah, some night. How much is that? Just buy that one side. Oh no, I shouldn't be buying these because when you put the wide body on, you lose them all. Yeah, so I think it's just pretty similar to the standard Nismo, the standard Nissan R32. And here. Right, what else is there in this update? We've got the new cars, we've got the ultimate parts. I think that's pretty much everything, guys. So, you know, I'll just start grinding, selling cars for money and grinding for money, and just do a little live stream. You know, I haven't done one of these in a while, so I think that's pretty much everything covered. Oh wait, hold on, the new sport. A lap time challenge. Okay, so we've got the Willow Springs Raceway Streets of Willow Spring Reverse. Well, that's interesting, they did it in reverse. With the G-Ready Fuji Z. And of course we've had this one for 7 days already. The Autopolis racing course with the Formula cars. And the Nordschleife. Yeah, obviously with me losing my dog, and you know, I think everybody's in the same boat. Everybody's going through hard times just now. You know, I haven't even been able to do this yet, but I'm going to go in there and do some daily race C at some point as well. Deep Forest Group 4, and then the Goodwood Motor Circuit. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much the update done and out of the way. So I'm just going to now grind for some money, and you know race these cars. Oh no, wait, hold on. There's not. There's stuff in the cafe missions here. Yeah, oh no, that's the new races. Right, where's the cafe mission? Yeah, so we have the SEMA GT Awards. So you get a 5-star roulette ticket for getting all 3 of those cars. So we'll buy these other 2 at some point as well to get that ticket. I've already got the Group A one, so we'll see what this is all about. Receive rewards. Congratulations, you've got all 3 cars. I can't be bothered reading the site. Yeah, so you've got the Nismo GTR, the Cosworth and the BMW M3. You know, all of these cars competed against each other, but the Nismo here, I better tell you this, because this game, the factual information and the actual information of these vehicles, they keep all the cool stuff away from you. You know, it's ridiculous. But the grey one here in Group A, as I said earlier, this car got banned from this category because it was 4-wheel drive, and it was just blowing these other cars out of the water. So they ended up banning it. Let's see if these inept morons at Polyphony Digital, let's see if they actually give us real information here, or if they exclude that like they've done with all of the other banned cars. Everyone who knows about international touring car regulations knows about the legendary Group A, yeah, and all of their corrupt rules that goes with it. Touring cars races are competitions for road-going cars that have been modified for racing. Yeah, it's called homologation. They're called homologation. See, they can't even get that information accurate. They're called homologation cars. So they have to make a certain amount of road cars for it to compete. In other words, so this is an example of how stupid they are. In other words, they are intense track races featuring cars that anyone can get their hands on. These 3 cars are 3 miraculous legends from Group A history. One hurdle in qualifying for Group A homologation, see now they're talking about homologation, is a production requirement. While the unit number has changed over the years, that condition that Group A cars be mass produced has not. Well, that's not true either. You used to only be able to make 50 homologation cars, roadworthy cars. You know, now it's in the thousands, you know. The most recent one is the Toyota GR4. What's it called? The Toyota Yaris GR4. They had to make, I think, 10 or 20,000 of those cars for that car to compete. You know, so basically, what Toyota did was they took a massive financial loss in that car, so they put all of the special race parts on. I can't remember specifically now, but over 10,000 or more cars, which was you know, these race parts are you know they're special metals, very rare, exotic metals. You know, so to create these race parts for 10,000 or more homologation cars, you know, road cars. You know, Toyota just took the financial loss and put all of the race pedigree, you know, all of these exotic race parts in the road car. And of course, because they took that financial risk, they just dominated the races that the Toyota has competed in, like in WRC. You know, they had a huge advantage over the competition, the ones that wouldn't spend the money on the homologation cars, the road going cars. So back in this day, you only had to make 50 of, sometimes only, I think sometimes only 5. For example, in the Le Mans prototypes, like the Porsche GT1 road car, I think they only had to make 5 of those, and the Mercedes CLK GTR race car. You know, in various other cars, you only had to make a few of those ones, and then over time, it's now, you know, over 10,000. You know, to keep the, you know, basically these race cars for the road away. You know, so again, as I said earlier, it's these corrupt rules. They should be raising the bar, not lowering the bar. making it more difficult for motorsports. They should have the bar raised highly, so that we can see what these cars are really capable of, not with all of these stupid regulations, capping the cars. So, for example, you would have a 4-wheel drive rotary at the top, but for example today, but we don't, because they've banned 4-wheel drive from touring car races, and they've banned the rotary from it because it's got such an advantage over the competition. And but anyway, we'll carry on with this bump here. So that's not true. While the unit number has changed over the years, the condition that Group A cars be mass produced has not. No, they didn't have to be mass produced. As I said, some cars they only had to make 5 of them back in the day. So that mass produced is a new thing. It's not always been like that. Far from it. Again, every time I read this stuff, it's pathetic. Who are they paying to research this stuff? When the regulations were introduced in the 1980s, the idea was make Group A cars from race-suited production cars. Then something unexpected happened. Automakers with Group A ambitions began building powerful base cars for homologation. This meant that ordinary road-going cars were built as world-class touring cars. The BMW M3 E30 from 1985 is one of Germany's most iconic Group A cars. It featured an upgraded engine displacement, and the Evolution model had aerodynamic and cooling tweaks. Yeah, what actually, because I grew up in this era, that M3 was actually very low down in power, but it made it up in handling and tyre wear. So because it didn't have as much power as the Causeys or the Nismo, the Skylines, and the big Australian V8 cars, it had advantages elsewhere. So it didn't tear up the tyres so quickly, and because it was so much lighter than the rest of them, it had better handling as well. So that was the advantage that M3 had. But in a straight line, it had no chance against the big boys here, the Causeys and the Skylines and all the other big V8 other V8 vehicles, the American cars and stuff. But again, it had advantages, just like everything in life. There's advantages and disadvantages. There's pros and cons. So you'll gain in one area, but you'll lose it in another area. You have to compensate, and you have to find that perfect balance. And again, if these motorsport regulations weren't so strict, it would be incredible what we would actually be seeing right now without these regulations. Built by Ford Europe, the Sierra Cosworth RS 500 featured a tuned-up engine from Cosworth Racing Engine Masters. They're the most successful Formula 1 engine in the world as well. People think it's Ferrari, but it's not. It's Cosworth. Back in the day, Cosworth was king, and it still is king in a sense, in terms of their quality and craftsmanship. Only 500 units were produced of this car for Group A homologation. So it's even telling you right there was only 500 units made. That's far from being mass produced. So you can see how they've contradicted themselves with their patter here. The Nissan Skyline GTR R32 from 1989 is another legendary production car that was built to win races. I can tell you, I was 1989. I was 10 when this car came out, and I remembered it. So like when I was a kid, I used to draw like the Causey, what we just seen, and the the BMW 3 Series, the M3 that we just seen as well. I used to draw, and the Audi 80s and Audi 100. So like ever since I was a small kid, I would always draw cars. My dad was into cars, and even my mum's into cars. I would actually say my mum's more into cars than my dad. She's a real car enthusiast. But I was 10 when this car came out, and I remember the impact it had on me at that early age. So I started drawing this car, trying to draw this car as well. And but yeah, this car is legendary. And then, when was it? 1997. So 8 years later, I actually got to drive this car in the first Gran Turismo game. But by that time, the R33 had come out. I think in 1995. So I wasn't really interested in this car anymore. The more beautiful, and I would say more iconic R33 came out, and what's it called? Yeah, I'll find a way to get. I've actually got some drawings still. Should Ali saying, Wolfie, I'd be interested to see your drawing. I've actually still got some of them, because when I left school and went to college, I was a bricklayer to begin with in college. That was in 96 or something like that. I can't remember now. I think it was 96. Maybe 95, 96. I went to Inverness College as an apprentice bricklayer, and I've still got all of my revision sheets, and all of them are covered in cars. So basically, if you think about how this car looks with bigger, if you think of the Alfa Romeo DTM car with the massive big spoilers on the front, the massive big air, if you think about this car, but like on steroids, like the touring car version of this, that's what my drawings were like. They'd all have 5-spoke wheels or 3-spoke wheels, like really cool alloys, and they'd have big wings, huge air intakes, ceramic. So that's what they failed to tell you about this car, as I alluded to earlier. They're not giving you the full information. They had hardened metal, which is basically ceramic. These cars had ceramic turbochargers, to deal with the increased boost pressure and power. So like I'd even have, like, next to my drawings, I'd have like the engine specs, and those specs back in the 90s. I had 0 to 60 in about 1.8 seconds, 0 to 100 mile per hour in about 4 seconds. Running about 1500 horsepower, and today we have those figures. The fastest accelerating car we have today is the Dodge Demon, which does 0 to 60 in 1.66 seconds, I believe. But these Skylines back in the 80s, you could tune them to over 1,000 horsepower, and back then you would launch these cars in second gear, because first gear would just spin the tires completely. So the secret to racing these cars, back in the the Midnight Club in Japan, they were really the first tuners of these cars. Then it came to Europe and Australia, and now it's actually ironic. Now we see in the Americas, over the last like 5 to 10 years, now that these cars are so sought after in America, they're actually going through the tuning phase of these cars now over in the Americas, which we were doing back 30 years ago. We were doing these cars, and now America have access to these cars because of the 25-year rule. They're going through what we went through 30 years ago now. So they're experiencing these cars now. Over, some of them are over 2,000 horsepower. But when I was drawing these cars, I would have the engine specs next to them. 1,500 horsepower. Cosworth reinforced engines. Ceramic turbos, and I'd have the figures. Now we have those figures today. So like those, I remember showing people my drawings, and with even my family, I'd show them the drawings, and I'd have the figures next to them. It's got 1,000, 1,200 horsepower, 1,500 horsepower, and I'd even have the specs on how to achieve that, the bigger turbos, the ceramic turbos and everything, and they're like, that's completely unbelievable. And I was like, well, actually it's not. Back in the 80s, when Godzilla first was released, they got 1,000 horsepower to this, and launching it in second gear, the records were 0 to 100 mile per hour in about 4 and a bit seconds in real life. So so obviously with me reading the Max Power magazines, and the tuning magazines, I was getting access to them, and I was extracting information from the magazines and just making my own version of it with my drawings. But basically they looked like super touring cars, like the Alfa Romeo DTM of the 90s, and the Vauxhall Calibra Super DTM, these super touring cars. That's basically what my drawings looked like. And then of course I had the supercars like the Lamborghini Diablo, the wedge shape, all for aerodynamic purposes. But yeah, I've got copies of them. They're not copies of them, but they're. And then when I went to, I worked for Volkswagen as a apprentice panel beater paint sprayer. So again, I went back to college where I had to, take down the revision. So I had all of the, back then it was paper, guys. Well, it wasn't so much actually with Volkswagen, because that was in, the year 2000. So when I went to college and as an apprentice panel beater sprayer, well, the exact title is the automotive body repairer and paint refinisher. So it's a fancy title for panel beater paint sprayer. My class, we were the first in Scotland in that particular course to go through the computerized one. So we were basically the guinea pigs. So before that, it was all done in paper. Like you had your revision sheets and you had your jotters and everything, and your A4 pads. But back in the early 2000s, there we were the first to go through the computer course. So like we didn't have the A4 pads or the jotters, but like we did, but it wasn't the same. It was all done on computer. So that was the start of the computer courses coming in, and so I didn't have so many. But in my bricklaying ones, all of my A4 pads and all of my journals and all of my jotters all had cars. Because you kind of tune out after a while. It's like, okay, you need this safety measure for here, it has to be this distance. You tune out from all of the boring stuff that's not really used in practice, and all of the health and safety stuff, which is just common sense. And so you tune out, and I just start drawing cars and imagining these 1500 horsepower ceramic turbo fully reinforced built engines. But we have those figures today. For example, Rimac just broke the world record for everything, 0 to 400 back to 0 again in some ludicrous time. That Rimac supercar from the Czech Republic. Those figures are even crazy, even quicker than what I've got down. Back from the 90s. But I remember family and friends saying that's ridiculous numbers. You'll never see that. It's like, well, actually they're having to launch the car we've got on screen here, the Skyline GTR. They're having to launch that in second gear because first gears, there's just no traction there at all. So that was these Japanese psychopaths would be launching the car in second gear, and of course the gearbox wasn't going to last long with that type of abuse. And then of course, like, they would reinforce them and stuff like that as well. They would weld them up to give them more, and straight cut them to give them more reinforcement, more more structure. So but yeah, sure, I'll find a way to get I'll take some pictures. I'll get those early drawings I did, Surreality, and I'll like take pictures of them. I will get you those drawings, and they were drawn back in the 90s, and the power figures beside them, we have today, we weren't far off of them. Like the figures I had, we weren't far off of them back then, actually. But when I drew those drawings, I was saying, well, in the future we will have these times, and we do. The fastest accelerating car in the world is 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.66 seconds. That's the Dodge Demon. Then the second fastest car in the world is the Tesla Plaid. I think that's 1.7 0 to 60. So when I drew those drawings back in the 90s, and the car specs, you know, for it was all imaginary, of course. You know, I knew that those figures would be available, and you know, we're here now. They are available. But yeah, but well, you guys know me anyway. I go off on tangents all the time, but let's see if they talk about the banning of this car. I highly doubt it, because they've not talked about the banning of other vehicles that's in this game, like the Chaparral, you know, the tumble dryer. Some people call it the washing machine. You know, the tumble dryer fan car. That car was banned. They never talked about anything like that. And of course, the Mazda rotary engines, and of course the standard version of this was banned. The Jaguar Le Mans car, that was banned. They never mentioned that as well. But let's see if they talk about the banning of this car here. Yeah, so yeah, they're right. This is a legendary car. Beginning in 1990, it famously scored 29 straight victories. All Japan Touring Car Championship. Then let's see if they even talk about the Godzilla name here. Something they failed to do as well. So I highly doubt it. But let's see what these morons have got written down here. This Nismo model, built by Nissan Motorsport, has a near mythical status for all of its racing modifications. Yeah, that's why it's called Godzilla. Unfortunately, as Group A regulations fell out of fashion in the late 90s, the need to build production cars declined. Yeah, the reason it fell out of fashion was because they kept on banning everything that was good. That said, we should be thankful that it gave us such miraculous legends as these. There you go. What did I tell you guys? I didn't even tell you about Godzilla being banned. They didn't even mention the name. It's called Godzilla because it destroyed everything. Again, withholding information, I would say deliberately, because they don't want to talk about all of the corruption and all of the cliques in motorsport or anything, you know. Like obviously we see it in politics as well. Don't get me started down that road. You know, exposing all of these corrupt politicians, as well as these corrupt corporations and, you know, corrupt regulatory bodies in motorsport. So menu books, I believe there's new menu books as well. Yeah, historic sports car masters. Yeah, again, you know, Karl Marx in the Communist Manifesto, the first thing is stop debate, stop speech, you know, and we don't have to see it now. Free speech is gone, you know. You can't say anything now without upsetting somebody, some snowflake somewhere. But yeah, is this? I think this is a new one here. A Super Formula. Or they might have already been in there actually. I think the new races are over here in World Circuits. In fact, we'll, you know, just so I'm thorough, we'll actually look at, you know, where these new races are, and that's the end of it. If you want to stay for some racing, you can, but that's the majority of the information gone. Well, that's it all done, and that's the new update. Right, where are these new races? Right, so we've got World Circuits. The following new events have been added. So we've got the Super Formula Autopolis, High Speed Ring American Clubman Cup 700, Blue Moon Bay Nissan GTR Cup, Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. Yeah, but a lot of people say Michelin, but it's Michelin. It's a French company. Super Formula Monza Circuit Sunday Cup Classic, cafe. We've just gone through that collection, SEMA GT Awards. And of course the Group A collectors, which they never gave you the accurate information, but I gave you some of it. There's much more cool stuff than that about these legends that for some reason Gran Turismo fails to mention. Or should I say Polyphony Digital, they're the ones that make this game. Right, what else? Yeah, so that's everything, guys. Now just to go into this cash cow game, you know, this pay to win game, because obviously if you're rich enough you can just buy everything with real money, and if you don't, you have to spend half an hour of your time to get 727,500 credits. You know, it takes a long time to achieve money in this game. Oh wait, hold on, we'll do the roulette tickets. Let's see if they've increased your luck. Oh, and there was a guy from one of my other videos asked me, where do you actually he won an engine swap, so if that guy's watching, it's in here, it's under tuning parts in your garage. So you go in here, what did he win? He won the Corvette engine. So you just click it on that, and it would actually tell you down here what you've got unlocked. Yeah, so that's to the guy who asked me the question from the other video. That's where you find your engine swaps and your special ultimate parts is in there. But now you can just buy them. And surprise, surprise, got a car that I've won like 6 times before. But it's better than the 30 grand or the 10 grand you normally get. Spend £10 on electric, grinding, getting out in the roulette. Fantastic, yeah. Yeah, well, you know, like, you know, shout out to my cousin who gave us this, but like, if you're struggling for electricity, you can actually get a fuel bank voucher, so you might be eligible for another fuel bank voucher, electric voucher, Surality. You know, you can get one every 6 months, so you might be able to get another one. But yeah, Surality is right. You know, again, as I was alluding to earlier, you know, the world's in such a state, you know, like, even just having your PlayStation on, the electricity, energy is so expensive now. And when you're at the bottom of the food chain, like what I am, I have to contemplate even having my computers on. And again, yeah, Surality's making a joke out of it, but it's very true. You know, you have to spend £10 on electric to grind hours of your lives away just to get these cars and these expensive parts. Or if you're wealthy, you can just go and buy it. So again, this is why I'm saying this is a cash cow, this game. But it's not just this game, it's all games now. You can just pay to win, and you can get everything early if you spend real life money on it. And again, it doesn't take a child can understand that you're being exploited. You know, it's like, spend real money on the game, or waste hours of your day every day trying to achieve these. So again, the way I'm talking about is the fastest way. So you can't even enjoy the game by going through the normal career and campaign, because you get such little money for it. It's pathetic. So of course, the path of least resistance, you know, from all over the world, you know, we find out the fastest way to make money, and the fastest way to make money is 727,500 credits, depending on your skill level, every 22 to 30 minutes, you know. So that's the option I'm about to go down now after these tickets. And you know, so Surality's bringing in another aspect to it there, you know, like the cost of Yeah, there's the normal, the worst thing. How much is that? Yeah, 10,000 credits. So they haven't fixed the roulette tickets, they're still really bad. They're just as bad as they've always been. So there you go, there's 5,000 credits. I'm guaranteed we land in that. Oh no. Well, that's good. We've got instead of 5,000 credits, we got 500,000. So that's really good. The game must be listening to us. He must have said, right, we better give him something good. He's slagging us off in live here. Right, there you go, there's 10,000 credits. Guaranteed we get that. There you go, told you. So 10,000 credits. The worst thing on that thing there. At least we got one good thing. And if you look at my other live streams, you can see I always get the worst thing. You know. There you go. Worst thing again. What's that? That's 10,000 credits again. Carbon prop shaft. Again, the worst thing that was there. And the Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat safety car. So I've already got like 5 of these for that car. Yeah, it's actually a good update, Vern. It's hold on. Yeah, you've got all of the ultimate rare parts now available to buy, so that's a good thing. Also, there's like this new car, this new Godzilla in here. There's an old 1970s Ford Maverick. Man, look how beautiful that car is. It's just worth it for this Nismo edition. What's the other car? An old 60s, an old 1960s Alfa Romeo Giulia. That's a beautiful car as well. In fact, I'll touch on that one. That's a old cracker as well. Yeah, I'll see you after work, Vern. We'll get some racing done. Yeah, Vern Beam Sports here in the live chat. He's a big endurance racer. I don't know if you can hear me over the engine sound, but it's again, a lot of people complain that when the car's racing, they can't hear me talk. So, but yeah, this is just incredible. I mean, we've got Godzilla here, an old 1980s icon, driving around the Nordschleife, the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So this is one of the best things about this game is the replays. You know, just admiring these old icon cars. You don't obviously get, because obviously we're never going to be able to. I mean, this car's what, 500 grand now. You know, we'll never get to see these cars unless you're a multi-millionaire. Yeah, we'll see you after work, Fern. You know, so this is as close as we're going to get to these cars. Right, Vern's got to go. Yeah, catch you later, Vern. Yeah, so you know, we can't do it in real life, but we can get the next best thing. We can do it virtually. You know, we can digitally take these cars around our favourite tracks, or in Vern's case, your worst track. You know, Vern likes like Road Atlanta and all those types of tracks, you know, Road America. I know he likes Le Mans actually, he likes some European tracks as well. But yeah, guys, all like for the new update, anyone new to join in the live stream, go back to the beginning, you'll see, you know, all of the new data that's in the game. Yeah, so that's just a generic tune I put in the car, so I'll be able to fine tune that, you know, a lot better. Yeah, this is just me testing the performance of the car. And as you can see, it's an absolute monster. So that was me just doing a standstill start, you know, to like probably about 200 mile per hour down there. Yeah, so this car wasn't called Godzilla for no reason. An absolute flying machine. Yeah, so out of all of the Skyline GTRs, this one was actually the best handling on a race circuit because of the low roofline. The R33 and the R34 Skylines had a much higher roofline, and therefore they were top heavy. So this car was actually, this car was lower to the ground than the other two too as well. So so this was actually the best handling out of the three on a racetrack. But in stock form, the you know, the advanced high-cast, the four-wheel drive, four-wheel steering system on the R33 and R34, because of the electronic advantage, you know, the advanced technology in this car's predecessors, it would actually outhandle them. For example, the R33 was 15 seconds faster around this racetrack than this car because of that advanced electronic system, and then the R34 was the same again on the R33. But if you were to take that advanced electronic system from the you know, the high-cast system, the four-wheel steering from the R34 and R33 onto this car, it would decimate the other two. But yeah, a lot of people don't realise that this car actually, with the low roofline and the lower to the ground, was actually better than the other two if the other two didn't have the electronic, you know, the advanced electronic four-wheel drive system. So mechanically this car is far superior to the other two. Yeah, so a lot of people don't realise that, but you know it now. It just doesn't have the electronics that the other two have, or the ceramic turbos, or the upgraded turbos that the other two have.